How are we doing? Highway Rivals family. Super excited to be back today. Me and Nate back at it again today with episode 12. We got a bunch of different things we want to hit on. We're going to be posting a crap ton because we're filming a lot today. Nate, this is going to be a really Nate-centric video. He's got a bunch of Kentucky basketball stuff for us. So without further ado, Nate, go ahead and take it away.
Yeah, so big day for the Cats. We get a 4-star forward, Braydon Hawthorne, committed to Kentucky. Out of West Virginia. He's a senior. He committed to us over Duke, Pitt, and West Virginia. Really looking forward to a guy like this coming in as our 14th man, who was a Kentucky fan growing up. A lot of potential. Big guy, very slender though for how tall he is. If he can come in, put on some muscle, I'm really looking forward to maybe this being a development piece, maybe a 2-year process. But I do think there's potential. Maybe he can get some minutes this year. What do you think about this pickup for the Cats?
Well, 6'8", 180 is definitely never bad to add to a squad. At least height. He will need to bulk up a little bit to play in the SEC, at least competitively. But obviously, other schools were going after him with Duke, Pitt, Virginia Tech, and West Virginia are added to me. They're just trying to get back to 500 each year, I feel like. Yeah. But either way, I mean, I've seen a little bit of his tape. He's a pretty good kid. He was a little overlooked in this class with obviously like AJ and all these other kids that are the Boozer twins, Michael, who's our guy. This is a pretty loaded high school class, so it doesn't surprise me that he went overlooked, but he still looks good, at least based on his tape. I think adding him is good for you guys. I don't know if he comes in and he's an immediate contributor. However, injuries happen every year, and I know last year, like we were playing a couple freshmen, so like it just ends up being in a situation where, you know, if maybe he's a plug-and-play guy.
Yep, I would agree to that, and I'm glad that Mark Pope added this guy to the puzzle. All we need now is Otega Owe to come on back.
Yeah, for sure.
So now, we're, also today, Georgetown was added to the schedule, preseason exhibition. Looking forward to the matchup. I'm glad that Mark Pope is loading up this early season schedule. Not only the early season, but as we get into the season, our schedule is very difficult this year. But yeah, how do you feel about him loading up the schedule early on? And
well, it's necessary. It's necessary in a way. Oh, sorry guys, I was watching some Braydon Hawthorne highlights. It's necessary because, like you see last year's situation with like North Carolina, everyone could say like they weren't a tournament team, and maybe they weren't. However, their resume being who they won and who they lost to got them in. And that's going to be the same with you guys kind of last year. Your record wasn't like, oh my God, they went and won 31 games. But you played a loaded SEC along with a loaded non-con. So you're battle tested. And that means more than anything when it comes to a tournament resume. So good on Pope not being afraid of competition. Georgetown, I don't know how good they are. I never know how to feel about them since – I don't think anyone knows how to feel about Georgetown since pretty much Allen Iverson has been there. I know Otto Porter Jr. had a pretty good run at it when we were kids. But, you know, Georgetown is just one of those schools, a Big East school. You know, they're going to be a tough team because they're a Big East team, and they can give a lot of players – or they can give a lot of teams some problems on the defensive end. But you guys probably should still win by like 15 to 20 points, I would assume.
Shout out Jordan Burks. I'm pretty sure he transferred there 2
years
ago.
Yeah, he did.
So he might even have a senior year. I don't know if he transferred though. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
So moving on from that, Zakai Ziegler is suing the NCAA for another year of eligibility. Like he needs one. I mean, 4-year guy. He's played 30-plus games every year, I'm pretty sure. Why do you need to play another year? Why are you suing the NCAA for another year? You've been healthy. You've played consistently. Why do you need a 5th year? I think it's time to give that spot up to somebody else that's younger, that actually deserves this year. I think it's time for him to move either overseas or somewhere else.
I don't know, bro. I mean, do I think he needs to play another year in college? No, that's not my argument with what you're saying. What I am saying, though, is I don't know that he's not an NBA guy because his defense is really good. One thing that will not ever get him drafted, obviously, is his age and his size. Like I don't think he's 6 foot.
No,
he's like 5'9" or 5'10".
Right.
He can shoot the ball pretty well.
Decently, but not great.
Not a great shooter, but he's got defense. He plays hard. It says here the lawsuit requests a preliminary injunction to allow Ziegler to compete in the 2025-2026 season, arguing that he will suffer irreparable harm without immediate injunctive relief as schools are currently finalizing rosters and settling NIL agreements. It claims Ziegler could earn up to $4 million if eligible for the 2025-6 season, based on analysis from Spire Sports Group. Ziegler's lawsuit attacks the NCAA's redshirt rule, which is basically him saying, well, that actually makes no sense because he never redshirted. But I guess what he's saying is all these other guys are getting to use red shirts. We actually just saw it with the Ali Khalifa situation. He's appealing kind of the same thing. I think it's ridiculous that players are doing this. However, it is not my place to tell them what to do. But as a spectator, Zakai Ziegler, the last 2 years, you've made good money being at Tennessee. If you're Rick Barnes, you don't want Zakai Ziegler back, in my opinion. I think it's time to pivot. You've had these same guys starting for 5 years now, or 4 years now, and they haven't made any deep runs. So this is a bit ridiculous, but you're going to see this in this day and age of college sports. You've seen it in football with Nico's little brother. Well, it's actually kind of opposite, but it's the same precedent. Like Arkansas is requesting their money back from him. So it's a very volatile day and age for college sports, and we've said this in earlier podcasts. It's just ugly, and we're just praying that the product put on TV is good, right? Because everything behind the scenes is super messy, and every time the NCAA goes to court, they lose. So will he probably get another year? Yeah, he probably will because they can't say no to anyone. It's ugly, though. I hate it. I don't want to see another year as a Zakai Ziegler.
I don't either. And I think that the NCAA needs to do what's right. Let who should play, who shouldn't not play.
Right.
And come up with a standard or some type of rules to where this isn't an issue every year. They got to get a hold of this NIL, transfer portal, redshirt
100%
era.
Yeah, it's ugly.
But moving on from that, I wanted to talk a little bit about Kobe Barea and Otega Owe and kind of where they stand in the draft stock. Mm-hmm. Kobe Barea, he has been moving up in the stock. He is projected late first round, early second round, most likely early second round. So I've seen some late first round projections, but not too many. I think that's great. I think that he is a NBA type player that scouts are looking for. You know, he's a bigger body, can shoot the ball really well. Somebody that you can probably bring in immediately.
Agreed.
Otega Owe, on the other hand, not looking so good. They got him ranked like 77th right now, which is outside of the first 2 rounds of the NBA draft.
Yeah.
I don't think that he's going to pursue the NBA this year. I feel strongly that he'll come back in the next 4 days because he has to announce in the next 4 days. If he is coming back, because that deadline closes. Okay.
But yeah, I think Brea is an NBA player because he's 6'7" or 6'8", right? And he can put the ball on the floor. You saw a couple times where he slashed to the basket, got a dunk or a good layup. And near the end of the season for you guys, when it mattered most, he performed.
He did every time.
He played really good.
Even early in the season.
He did, yeah.
First home game against Florida, he had 29 points that game. He shot the ball well, put it on the floor well. So I'm hoping the best for Kobe Barea this year.
Owe, in my opinion, it's kind of exactly what we talked about last podcast, actually. It's just he's not right now. He needs to fix that jump shot. Yeah. And that's going to be his biggest grief with getting to the NBA right now is can you get a jump shot? Because that is what it's become. Owe doesn't even really have a mid-range jumper. A lot of his points, I actually just saw a stat on this. It was on some like Louisville hate page, I'm not going to lie. It was like 62% of Otega Owe's points came from transition dunks and layups and dunks in the half court.
And getting into the paint.
So he's not very polished. He's a very good defensive player, but I'm not going to keep harping on the kid. I've been saying he's not really an NBA player right now.
Yeah. I think that this year he'll come back and show everybody why he is an NBA player.
Okay.
I would agree that he needs to work on shooting the ball, but I think his game is more complete than people think. and we're going to see that this year in the SEC for sure.
For sure.
Moving on, Kentucky baseball. They lost in the first round of the SEC tournament yesterday to Oklahoma. I know they are on the borderline of the postseason, so we'll see if the Cats can get into the postseason. They've got some big wins this year. They did beat Oklahoma in a series sweep earlier on in the year. So we'll see if the Cats get in. Hopefully they do. But that's kind of it in the Kentucky world this week.
If we're going to since we're hitting on Kentucky baseball, we'll hit on Louisville baseball. Yeah. We are very obviously going to make a regional. Great record. Very good non-con schedule. We played Vandy, we played you guys, and we played Texas. We split the series with Texas, or no. Yeah, because college baseball series are 2 games, right?
3.
3? Yeah. Okay, so I think Texas beat us 2-1. Either way, we swept Vandy, and we only played you guys twice, right?
Right, I think because
and we split those. Yeah. I think non-con are 2.
Yeah,
so I know we swept Vandy. I know we split with Texas. Shout out Louisville baseball. One player I really like on that team. I've reached out to him actually to try to get him on the podcast. Zion Rose. He is a dog. He will be a major leaguer one day. He's just one of those like 5'9", 5'10", stocky guys who can run bases and things like that. He's really good. I'll be really looking forward to seeing what Louisville baseball is able to do in a regional. I think we won around 34 games this year, so we're obviously doing something at least good. Our pitching has been good, so shout out Louisville baseball. And then one thing I do want to end the video off with is the kid that Pat Kelsey just picked up from the NBA Africa organization.
Oh, yeah.
What is his name? I'll have to find it, but I'll have a graphic up for you guys. I don't know what to think because we had a kid 2 years ago, a core 4, who came from NBA Africa, and he was terrible. And that's not me hating. It's just they're not taught basketball in the same sense that AAU and high school kids are. Like I was just watching Braydon Hawthorne. He played at Huntington. So that's basically, it's just a prep school where it's a D1 powerhouse. So these NBA Africa kids aren't learning the same. That's not to say that they can't be great and they can't potentially be NBA players. But we'll just have to see. From his tape, I saw that he never quits running, which is one thing that I like, and it's one thing that you need in college basketball. The NBA, not as much. If he is able to give you 110% effort, being your third guy off the bench, it's going to be really hard to beat us when rotations are playing against rotations, right? Mm-hmm. So, shout out Pat Kelsey for making moves despite the Ali Khalifa situation. We did do an episode about that. You can refer to our channel to see that. It is kind of leaning towards he's not coming back. It's basically the same as the Zakai Ziegler situation, except I don't think Ali Khalifa has an active lawsuit. I think he's just appealing the decision. So, you got anything else for us, Nate?
I think that's it as far as Kentucky basketball and Kentucky athletics this week.
Speaking of Kentucky basketball, we'll hit on it. I did say we want to skip over, but shout out, obviously Shay, and we'll get to this because we're recording an NBA episode after this. Shout out Shay, any NBA cat
in the
playoffs right now. Randall, one guy that's really picking up traction when it comes to trade value, but also free agency value. Cason Wallace, he is. You saw it his 1 year at Kentucky. He is a really polished basketball player.
Had a great year at Kentucky.
Yeah, he had a great year. He also has a brother in the NBA, Keaton, and you can tell they're cut from the exact same cloth. It's nothing but relentless effort. The corner 3 is money.
If you can put the dunk on Jokic right here.
Yes, I will put that on.
That was
I will
tough.
put that on the screen. Cason Wallace is a dog. I really do enjoy watching him, but no Louisville basketball players. Donovan Mitchell, you are our only hope in the NBA still. As far as I know. Right?
And then Isaiah Jackson and Rob Dillingham. Isaiah Jackson's out on the Pacers right now. Rob hasn't been playing. He's also dealing with injury. But Karl Anthony Towns, he's been balling too. We'll see what he does tonight.
You got anything else for us, Nate?
That's it. Go Cats.
All right, we'll have this posted later today, probably around 5:30, 6 or 7. We got to record a couple more videos. We got NBA and NFL videos. So this was fun, guys. We love you guys. We appreciate it. Peace.